Iowa City traffic, Skyhawk 740 Sierra Papa at the ramp taxiing to runway 30, Iowa City. Do you want to do the run up right there, or where do you want to do the run up?
We can just kind of pull up towards the runway and then point our nose into the wind.
At the, oh, okay. Because Derek sometimes does it there.
Yeah.
So that's why.
It depends. If there's a lot of people flying, yeah, you can kind of cut off and find your own spot. But this will be fine. So just kind of hug the left side of the taxiway here, and then we'll turn right. Just slow down a little bit, kind of turn left a little bit, and then we'll turn right into the wind. We'll go straight and then kick that right rudder. Oh, right rudder.
Oh, right rudder?
Yep, right rudder. Grab that right brake. A little bit less right brake, just enough for it to roll.
Then we'll turn back, right?
Yep.
Is that good?
And yep, it looks like we're into the wind, so we can stop here.
Okay. I'm gonna push my seat in front a bit. Okay. Passenger seats. Back upright position, seat belts, door windows closed and locked, flight control free and correct. Flight instruments. Correct. Fuel quantity again check. Mixture rich. Fuel selector valve both. Fuel pushed in, trim set for takeoff. Throttle about 180. Up again. And down. Up again. Suction gauge vacuum is in the crane. Emitter. Right. Is the panel clear? Throttle idle for 3 seconds. 2, 3. Back to Clock is good. Avionics radio check. GPS. You're not using GPS? Oh, are we?
Let's just get it so it's set up. So, I'll look good.
Did I do that right?
Yeah, so...
Or should I put this first?
Since we're already on Iowa City, you can hit direct to, and then enter. But if we weren't, since we're close to it, we could hit nearest.
Okay.
We would want the airport, so we'll hit enter. And then from there, there's Iowa City. Let's say, for instance, we wanted to go to Washington. Washington should appear on the list. We're within 25, 50 miles of it, so it should pop up on there. What we have to do to change these values is this little knob, you actually pull it out, and then you turn right. So there's Eastern Iowa, Amana, Matthews, there's Washington. So then we'd hit direct to, then enter. I always push this back in.
Okay.
So, does that make sense?
Sure.
It's kind of a weird thing. It took me a while to figure out you have to pull the knob out, but I'll cycle back over to the left page. So
that is Iowa City?
Yep.
Oh, I have to put direct to and then enter.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is telling you where it's going to. So it was already up there at Iowa City. Then you have your distance here. That's your ground speed. And then here it's showing it's going to be 3002 center of Iowa City. And then here we'll show our ground track.
Got it. Alright. This is going to be a tricky turn for me.
Yep, so just your foot on the right. We'll just spin all the way around.
Oh, you want to spin all the way around?
Yep.
Okay.
So sometimes you can do that. Sometimes I find this easier. What's actually great about doing it this way is right as we turn here, now we get a nice wide open windshield to look on final to make sure nobody's there. With the highway, you can't really see up that well, so this gives us visual to look out that way. You turn.
No one's coming. One landed, no one's coming. Alright, I'm gonna make my call. Iowa City traffic, Skyhawk 7400 Sierra Papa, taking off on runway 30, heading southwest, Iowa City.
That landing strobe light on as well. Yeah, you can really use that differential braking to park that one tire on a spot. So we'll get lined up with centerline, then we'll go.
Alright. There's no crosswind, so I can just go straight. Look at the
yeah,
wind
it's kind of bouncing back and forth a little bit. Looks like right now it's a hair out of the left, but by the time we roll, it's going to go hair out of the right. So, and it's not too much of a crosswind, even though it's flipping side to side. So for the takeoff, we should be okay.
So straight up, I don't have to point to the yellow, into the wind.
Well, it looks like it's hair out of the left right now, so let's try that.
Like that?
Well, now it is, yeah. Start relaxing it.
was fast. So do I straight turn southwest from here? Can I go to my left and just do it?
Yeah. So
Okay.
once you're past 500 feet AGL,
Yeah.
you can kind of just turn left to the southwest.
Just gonna set on 2-1.
Or what?
The heading.
Go about 250, or actually about 240. We'll shoot out a little bit more west.
And altitude?
We'll level off about 2,000.
2000.
Yep.
You can feel the wind pushing us, right?
Yep. Coming from that northwest, so pretty much got a straight crosswind right now. That's my old belt up there, remember. If you want, we can either head a little bit more straight west or a little bit more straight south.
Let's go west.
Okay.
Never done that.
Right as we pass this little like kind of town here, we can find something up over there we can do. That'll be a good distance from the airport as well as the town there.
That's heading towards Washington?
No.
Washington's down there,
yeah,
right?
Washington's this way. I'm saying just as we get past this town. I think that's Williamstown.
Okay.
Then that south is Kelowna.
So that is something like the intersection you're talking about, right?
Yeah, something like that. But we'll go out so we're a little bit out of the way of this town here.
Right.
And let me know if you get hot or cold.
It's perfect for me.
Alright, you can descend down to about 1,600, 1,600 feet. Like right there is a nice little four-way. I think if we go just north of touch, there's another one right there. But since we want to enter on a downwind, so we'll actually fly over them, go out a ways, then turn back around to enter on one of them.
So go that side?
Yeah, so we could probably use that one right there. That looks pretty good.
Oh, that one right there.
Yeah, but since we need to enter on a downwind, we need about 120 heading. So we'll fly straight out this way for a little bit, and then we'll turn back around and then enter on it. I'll have you do it with it on your left-hand side because it's always a little bit easier to do it on when it's on your side. Just watch your outside there. A little bit of information right when you needed to stop the descent, so that's kind of my fault there. Just a little bit of power here. You want me to demonstrate one to you? So you kind of get an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
You haven't done them before, correct?
No. And you're saying you're gonna enter from into here, right?
Yeah, so the point we're kind of picking out is back there. We're just flying out and turning back around so we enter on that downwind, so the winds that are back.
Okay.
So this is, a lot of these maneuvers is finding the right point and setting it up more than it actually is the maneuver. So if you get a good setup, typically the maneuvers go fairly smooth. If you don't have a good setup, then you kind of just make it harder on yourself. Well, that's kind of the whole way through with anything that you do. Is these maneuvers here, same thing with S turns across the road, rectangular course, and if you get into the more in-depth stuff like commercial training, it's Same thing with ATOM pylons is the majority of your work is actually setting up the maneuver than it actually is doing it. So if you want, we'll turn back around and so do you want me to do one here?
Yeah.
Alright, so my flight controls.
Yeah.
Alright, so I was going to try to keep our power right around 100 knots. We're cleared left, so we're going to turn back around left onto that heading. We'll try to find that four-way we were just crossed over. We're going to do it out of the left-hand side there, so we're going to cross the point about a quarter to a half mile out from the right. We'll be to the right of the point, so it's out of our left-hand side. Just a smidgen of power in the turn. And it does get a little bit bumpy down here. Alright, let's see if I can't find where I told you to set up. It looks like kind of that green part there. Does that look familiar? The backwards kind of looks like a four-way.
Yeah, I see that.
Let's start with that if I can just get altitude. So just putting it on our left-hand side, and we can kind of find some points. So it looks like that house with the fencing and the trees, maybe a little bit inside of that, and then there's the other house with the silos here. This house, or this farmstead here, and then what we're flying over right now looks like all about even points.
Yeah.
So as we go, this is going to be the faster one.
Okay.
If you look, our airspeed's about 95 knots. I'm only about 100 feet low, but our ground speed's 112, so we got that tailwind. But right as we enter and cross the point here, we're gonna roll in. So this is our steepest bank. Honestly, it's really not too steep. That wind's actually kind of died down just a touch. So I was holding here about 1600. I'm gonna need a little bit of power here. I'm so used to the R model with the RPM settings that this is aiming like it's coming loud to me. So we were at our steepest points, now we're getting to our shallow point. You can kind of feel that wind pushing us out. I'm looking at our point here, from what I'm seeing is right as we cross, probably just the inside of this red barn here. So I'm using this as my point, and then as we go around, I'm thinking that barn with those two buildings with the silo is going to be the next one. You kind of see how I like to use, why I like using the four ways is it gives you 4 identical points to make sure you get yourself out to instead of just trying to base it straight off that initial point. So now we're in that we're transitioned into that shallow right about here, since we're almost on our heading of 300. We're almost directly into the wind. So this is the shallowest point. You notice it's only about, what, 10 degrees right now? And this is going to linger quite a ways too. We should be crossing right over that here any second. There it is. At my next point, looks like it's going to be probably just on the inside of that house.
This is going to be the least shallow bank, right?
So that was the shallowest right there. So now we can start reeling in the bank, and you notice as we start turning, that wind really starts to grab us. I'm trying to get it to where we're just on the inside of this house. Wait, look at her, how it's working there. Rolling into that steepest. That wind's pretty much going to carry us over right to about halfway between these points. So it's really only about a difference of 10 to 20 degrees for what the winds are doing right now. Right about, we got another 10, 20 degrees. And that's our steepest point. Oh, what is that, about 20 degrees? Slowly let it roll out. Still let it kind of linger a bit as we roll in, and now it starts coming into that crosswind. It'll still push us out. So if we're using that as our extended point, as you can see, right now it's starting to transition away. Kind of see how this is working?
Yeah.
Is it making sense at all?
Yeah.
There's kind of correcting for how that ground is. So do you want to continue within this loop here? We'll do like 2 more laps. Okay. Or did you want to go out and enter one on your own?
Let's try this first.
All right, so your flight controls.
Okay.
Alright, so if you look, that wind is right out about that way, so we're transitioning to that headwind, so less of a bank here. Just be careful of your altitude as well. It should be trimmed out fairly well, so just release that bank a bit. We're trying to get out to these buildings here. So you find at one point you almost won't have any banking at all, but we don't want to turn right. We just want to have it as relaxed as we possibly can.
Now it should get steeper, right?
Yes, just a little bit. So to do it slowly, so the transition is slow, so only about 10, and you notice it'll only go up to about 20, so let that nose come down a little bit more. There you go, just relax your grip a little bit, and as you see, we're going to cross right on the inside of this house, so just kind of hold this bank here. This will carry us pretty much all the way around. A little bit more. Go a little bit more. Right about here. Good, and as you see, it's going to put us right between these two houses here. I'll keep that bank in a little bit more. That's the steepest point right there. So generally shallow it out, but again, as it's taking us 180 degrees for us to shallow it all the way out. So you don't have to necessarily get yourself shallow really quick. It's just a very, very gentle release of the bank. As you can see, we're just trying to get over this red barn here. So now you can start releasing it a little bit. That wind's going to help push us out there. So we're still not quite to the shallowest yet, so let that nose shallow out a little bit. One thing you'll notice is you'll have pitch differences. So as you were in the steep turn, you had to hold the nose up just a little bit, right? Now we don't really have to, so we gained a little bit of altitude, so you can just kind of let it be relaxed and let it keep that speed. Slowly let it get into that. Don't quite pitch up all that much yet. Just let that nose come back down and gain just a touch of altitude here. So just hold the bank right about here. See that wind really grabs you there.
Yeah.
And you can look inside at your point and just kind of see what it's doing with relation to it.
This will be the steepest point, right?
Right about, I still got a little bit more. Right about here is the steepest part. So you can be a little bit more relaxed on getting into that steep turn. Well, steeper turn. Alright, so let's exit out of this one. So just give me a nice left turn to the west. We'll go out a little bit more and find another four-way. I'll let you do the setup on it. I'll kind of talk you through the setup on it. Sorry. Alright. You look, there's a three-way there. Sometimes three-ways work, especially if they have something off of them. So if you look out this side, there's a three-way, but then there's that driveway that extends out. And then also here, it's actually just a single road, but if you look, there's two lines in the field that come out. They can use those as well, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a perfect 4 roads. It's just kind of 4 lines that extend out from the same area. And I don't know about you, I actually really like that right there. That looks really good.
Let's try that one.
Yeah, so let's point ourselves to the northwest a little bit. We'll fly that way for some, and then we'll turn back around and get it.
Okay.
And the one big thing to think about while you're doing that is while we're flying away from it to get ourselves turned around is we got a headwind. So our ground speed's currently 80 knots. Once we turn back around, it's probably going to get up to 110 or so. So we got to think like, okay, it's going to take us a lot longer to go this way than it is to go that way. So just take your time. The majority of the work for these maneuvers is your setup. What's nice about this is while you're doing this is it's a great time to scan for traffic in the area while you're flying out.
Oh.
So then when you turn back in, you're really focused on the maneuver.
Do you think we can turn back in now?
I'd give it about another minute. The windier it is, the bigger that change is. We're not getting too far north. Yeah, we're plenty south. Alright, I think we could probably go back around now. Alright.
That's the one.
Yep. You see how even though we were going outbound for like a minute, it's like right there.
Yeah.
So here, just go to the right a little bit and just watch your altitude. Just let that nose come back down. It is kind of weird flying this low at first. Is just, the ground fills up a lot more of your windscreen there, so everybody has a tendency to pitch up a little bit.
Okay. We are using this one, right?
Yep. Not quite on a perfect downwind. Alright, start turning in. As we go around, I'll kind of pick out some points that you can visually look at.
Traffic, medevac 911, Lima Golf 7 miles. Correction, 9 miles to the northwest, inbound University Hospital, Iowa City traffic.
There's our steepest bank, so let it stay steep here a little bit. I'm thinking about where these silos are right here. We can start relaxing the bank here. The wind will kind of help us out. We're transitioning to that headwind. So there's not really a house or anything on this side of the point, but from this distance here, it looks like kind of where that driveway for the field. And it should be a little bit more shallow. Right here, this heading is actually our shallowest point. And you can see actually that part doesn't extend. That wasn't our original 4-way, but that's okay. Looks like about this, like where all those green lines in the field meet.
Yeah. That one?
Yeah. Oh you can start steepening it a little bit here, a little bit more. A little bit more. You see that kind of gets a little aggressive with the wind there. A little bit more. Right about here will carry us all the way around. And keep that bank in.
The shallow bank coming up.
Yep, so that was our steepest point, but just kind of keep this turn in. Because we still got the wind at our side pushing us down. Good, we're almost at that shallowest point. It's really good here. There's that shallowest point. Don't quite turn in yet. Just let it linger for a little ways. Just a little bit less bank. Let the plane kind of extend out. I guess maybe that was a little bit wide of them. I know that point's about right. Just kind of keep it a little bit lingering here. Don't quite get all the way. There you go. Now let it kind of roll in. Cross right over our point. Get yourself to about 30 degrees for your bank. Coming. A little bit more, a little bit more. Right about there. And just keep this coming in. Yeah, that wind's really pushing you out to your point. Just pick your nose up a little bit though. Alright, start rolling it out. Now we'll just face north here. Alright, we can either find another point, do one more, or we can head back now. And do some touch and goes.
Just on touch and goes.
Alright, sounds good. Go back to the airport. So what's nice about this not being a familiar area, we can either use the GPS back or we can have a little bit of fun with it. If you want to, we can kind of just use some visual references to get back. So over to the southwest. So we know there's 218, that big road. So let's just turn straight east. I'll try to get back to it that way. You can climb up to 2,000 feet here.
Okay. Really bumpy
Yeah.
down here.
Yep. You get up to, just add some power here. We'll get up to 2,000. It should smooth out pretty quick.
I see Iowa City right there. Right.
Yep. Yeah, that looks right.
If we find 218, we might be able to get there.
Yeah, well, I think that actually might be northern side. Once you level out, we'll be able to see in front of us. There you go. Oh, yeah, there's that town that we were starting at, so that's Williamstown. So if we go Williamstown straight up, looks about a rough track heading of about 067, so you can turn left a little bit. Actually, stay a little bit east here. There's two towers right there. We'll kind of cut south of them, so turn just a little bit more south.
It's 218, right? No, wait, no, that's not 218.
Not quite yet. Alright, so Williamstown is about a heading of 060 or 070 from here. So if you look at our compass, that might need to be readjusted there. Or I guess ground track 070, that wind's not going to help. If you do, just point yourself a little bit like that based off the road. So go left.
Okay, can I go point east and then fix this setting? Is that right? Close? What do you think?
Right, but we're ground tracks that way, so let's point left up a little bit more. I actually think I can see the silo. You make a radio call saying you're 7 miles to the south.
Iowa City traffic, Skyhawk 7400 Papa, 7 miles to the south, Iowa City.
Okay, right about here, you can level it out. Alright, and go back to the right just a little bit, my bad, didn't tell you when to stop. And I don't think you'll be able to see the airport, but you see downtown area?
Yeah.
If you look to the south, there's that big green elevator. The airport's just northeast of that green, or northwest of that grain elevator. So right about here will put us in a nice downwind. Oh, right about there. Let's look at the weather again, make sure winds haven't changed too much.
Zulu. Wind 310 at 14. Peak gusts 24. Visibility 10. Sky condition broken 2,400. Overcast 2,800.
All right. Oh, just a little bit more to the left. Feel how that wind's pushing us this way here. So let's turn left a little bit more to cut into it.
Left.
Yep. So winds are 2-4 or gusting 2-4.
2-1-1-1 Zulu. Wind 310 at 14. Peak gusts 2-4.
All right. So there's a couple methods to go for strong winds like this. You can not have as much flaps in there. I personally do that if it's a lot of crosswind.
Yeah.
But what you want to do is if you take the gust factor, so it was 1-4 gusting 2-4, so that means there was a gust factor of 10. Take that, divide it by 2, and then add it to your final airspeed. That helps you cut through the wind a little bit more and prepare for if any gust gets lost. So, what do you use for a final airspeed?
Between 60 to 65.
Perfect. Add 5 knots to that, and that's what we'll use. Oh, can you see the airport?
Okay,
now?
yeah, so you got, okay.
What?
So we're gonna enter the downwind on 30.
Yeah, left downwind for 30.
I'm gonna reduce my altitude to traffic pattern.
As you can kind of see, that wind still blowing us, so if you want to turn left just a hair, it'll help us have a little bit more time in the downwind.
So 30 is this way, right?
Yeah. Right. But since that wind's coming out of that side, I personally like to get as much time in the downwind as I possibly can. It gives you more time to slow down, get yourself set up and situated. We'll pretty much be making a right turn here in just a second, just so we fly right over that trailer park. It's kind of a nice distance away.
Okay.
Alright, I turn now. Iowa City, traffic Scock 740 Sierra Papa, left downwind 30 Iowa City.
Yeah, thanks for doing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Try to stay in altitude, going down too fast.
Nose up just a little bit.
I'm gonna start reducing my speed. I mean altitude. I mean I already started. I'm just gonna reduce airspeed.
Bring that power out just a little bit more. Or out a little bit more.
Oh, out.
Yep. You can turn.
Iowa City traffic, Skyhawk 1400 Sierra Papa, turning left base on 30 Iowa City. It has to be steeper, right? A little bit?
No, not too much. And it's kind of a really long downwind, or a little bit wider of a down.
Iowa City traffic, Skyhawk 740 Sierra Papa, turning final on 30, Iowa City.
Get that second notch in there.
So you said 20 degrees, it's good?
Huh?
20 degrees flaps?
Yeah. If you want to do that, or if you want to do 30 degrees flaps, we can do that as well. The wind is kind of strong. Or it's fairly strong, actually.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of power here. You'll find with the headwind is you're probably going to have more power. A little bit more power.
Wow.
A little bit back to the right, yeah. A little more to the right. Just power in a little bit.
This airspeed is okay?
Yep. Start bringing that power back. A bit more. That's coming out of her right.
Iowa City traffic, helicopter 911 Lima Golf inbound for refuel.
Bring that power out more. I need a little bit of left rudder and right aileron. Holding that rudder. Holding off. Flaps up. Full power. A little bit right aileron as we roll. There you go.
Iowa City traffic, Skyhawk 7400 Papa. Upwind on 30, remaining on pattern, Iowa City. Oh, this is not as smooth at all. This is not smooth, right?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, it's definitely bumpy. Alright, so in the downwind.
Iowa City traffic, helicopter 1, Lima Golf right base, runway 30, Iowa City.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Yeah. This is mainly because of the wind coming over the trees there. Once we get above this and turn out, it'll smooth out quite a bit.
Where's the helicopter?
Not quite sure. They're refueling, so I'm assuming they're going to be landing right up by the terminal building. Okay, use a little less bank on the end of your days. Keep that nose up. A little bit more left. Bring that power back. Bring that power back to about 1900, 2000 RPM. It'll help you slow down. A little bit more.
Can I make the call?
Yeah.
Iowa City traffic, Skyhawk 7400 Papa. Left downwind on 30, Iowa City.
Careful where that nose is. That nose up.
1700, right? Traffic
Yeah.
pattern. Okay. Alright, so I'm at beam. I'm gonna reduce the power.
Bring your power back all the way like 1600. There you go.
Put the nose level so I can get.
You can kind of keep your nose somewhat right about there. Bring those flaps in and just hold the nose in the spot. So keep pushing that nose down a little bit more. Nose down a little bit more. Hold that 85 and trim the plane out if you need to. Take your start base, turn left here.
Yeah.
You're gonna need power here.
Iowa City traffic, Skyhawk 7400 Papa, turning base on 30, Iowa City.
On the next lap, let's try to keep the pattern a little bit tighter.
What did you say?
On the next lap, let's try to make the pattern a little bit tighter.
Tighter? Okay. Like putting flats, turning. Alright, let's try this again. Iowa City traffic, Skyhawk 7400 Papa, on final 30, Iowa City.
Yeah, power out a little bit and we'll turn to the right a little bit. Well, you can wait quite a ways and just what the final turn is. The final turn, I mean, you can start it where you did, but don't bank as much because we got that headwind, so the radius of the turn is already shallowed up for us. A little more to the right. We're at 1 hour, so do you want to touch and go or do you want to call it a day?
Can we do one more and then we can...
Sure. More to the right. One starting to grab you. Up. Out, wing back up. Quite as much bank there. Right, just a little bit. I'll bring that power back. Power all the way to idle. Fucking another one. Hold it off a little bit more. A little bit more. Wasn't bad. Wing could be down. Flaps up. Full power. A little bit of right aileron as we take off. Rotate. And try to climb out as much as you can here and try to stay above that turbulence. So pick that nose up more. A little bit more. A little bit more.
City traffic, Skyhawk 740, Sierra Papa, upwind on 30, remaining on pattern. City.
Yeah. See how with that climb we kind of stayed above that mechanical turbulence off the trees?
Yeah. Oh, crosswind.
Alright, well. Not quite as much of a turn here.
Because of the wind?
Yep. And turn here for the downwind. And try to keep your hand on the throttle there if you notice it's sliding out on you.
Yeah.
Level out here. Check that nose up a little bit though.
City traffic, Skyhawk 740, Sierra Papa, left downwind on 30, 30, City.
Bring that power back. Bring it back. A little bit more. More. A little bit more. Right about here. And you notice how quickly that downwind disappears?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, bring that power right back to about 1600. Keep coming. A little bit more. More. There you go. Let that nose come down. Hold it here, first notch. That nose down. A little bit more nose down. Alright, you can turn base. Grab that second. And just kind of keep the shallow turn all the way final.
City traffic, Skyhawk 740, Sierra Papa, on final, 30, full stop, City.
Yep. Not quite as much bank. Grab that second notch of flaps. Check that nose up a little bit too. Sorry,
Too
straight
fast.
down. That would be a little bit too. Let that nose come back down though. Going it too slow. A little bit back to the right.
I always feel like the wind speed is a little too high, but that's fine.
I mean the wind is pretty strong. Fairly strong today. Got wing back up. A little bit back to the left. Go. Let it turn to the right a little bit to go straight. There you go. Start to look down the runway. Hold it off. Bring up power all the way to idle. Hold it off. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit sideways. And let's roll out to the taxiway.
Try and keep the aileron into the wind. Should be good now, right? 30. So this way?
Be diving away now. Or away from the wind. Oh, now the wind's coming out of that side.
Okay. Iowa City traffic, Skyhawk 740 Sierra Papa. Clear for runway, Iowa City.
Oh wow, they moved that.
This is probably one of the most challenging landing classes I've had.
Yeah, the wind does not make it easy.
But I like it because it